Welcome, welcome to the part 4 of this fraction video. So this is a problem 5. We are seeing the first term, so the week 2. So this is problem 4. So and the topic is fractions. So we are going to be changing from converting from fractions to decimal. So I think this is the fourth video in the section talk when we are talking about converting fractions to decimal. And you remember that I explained to you that we have to split this into 3 so that we'll be able to understand this better. So and then remember that the first thing is that we deal with fraction with 10, 100 as the denominator, and the fraction that have factors of 10, 100 and 1000 as the denominator. So today we are going to talking about the fractions that that their denominator are not factors of 10. So that their denominators are not factors of 10, 100 or even 1000. You understand? So and then the example is 2 over 7. Like you see 7 now, there's no number you can multiply with 7 that will give you 10 or 100 or 1000. And I mean, if that number is actually a decimal, that doesn't work here. So we are talking about whole numbers. So there's no whole number you can multiply with 7 that will give you 10 or that will give you 100 or that will give you 1000. The same thing goes for 6 and 2. So now, how are you going to change fractions that have non-factors of 10, 100 as the denominator to decimal? So when you check the denominator of the fractions that you want to change to decimal, when you check their denominator and you find that the number in their denominator, that means the bottom number, the number below the fraction bar, you see that the number is 3, 6, 7, 9, or is 11, or 12, or even 13. You understand? Or all those kind of number that you can multiply that you can multiply with another number, with another whole number. You understand? It's not decimal, with another whole number that will give you 10, 100 and 1000 and so on. So whenever you see it, so these numbers are not, as they are non-factors. That means they are not the factors of 10, 100 or 1000. This means that you cannot multiply them with a number and they can never equal 10, 100 or 1000 if you multiply with any number. So to change such fractions like 3 over 7 or 4 over 9 to decimal, you use what we call the long form division. So this is a little bit more complex, so I won't go deep into this because you just need to every common questions that you're going to be encounter, or that your teacher or anyone will give you under fractions, usually revolve under the two parts that we have talked about. That means fractions that have 10, 100 as their denominator and fractions that have factors of 10, 100 as their denominator. So this one is the rare case, and I want to make sure that you understand everything about changing fraction to decimal. So this one is not complex, but it's a little bit hard. So I will make some videos on this separately. You understand? So that I will explain this one from the ground up. You understand? So what you need to know is that when you want to divide 2 over 5, I want to use 2 over 5 as an example. You know, 5 is a factors of 10. You understand? So don't bother yourself with it. I just want you to understand what long form division is right now here. You understand? In this slideshow. So we will jump to the board and I will explain to you. I will give you an example of fraction like 3 over 7 or 4 over 9. So for you to be able to understand what long form division is, let's quickly talk about this one. Let's use 2 over 5, but I know that 5 is a factors of 10, so keep that in mind. I'm just using this as an example so that you understand what long form division is, because if I use like 2 over 7, you won't be able to understand it better. So let's move on. So when you want to do long form division, you can draw a shape like this. You can see the way I drew it there. So you write the denominator outside here. You understand? You are going to write the denominator outside here. Let me use a pointer so that you can see this even clear. Okay, yeah, okay. Now you write 5 here as the outer here, and the 2, now you are going to write the 2. I'm coming. Let me change this to let me know. Okay, you are going to write the 2 here. You understand? So the denominator will be here. Now the first thing you are going to do is that we are going to divide 5 by 2. Then the number that is here, how many of this number can you find here? That means if you don't understand what I mean, you can count 2, 1, 2 like this, and check how many 5 you can find there. You'll be able to see that there's no way you can find any 2 any 5 in 2. You understand? Then since 5 cannot go in 2, you understand, So we have only 2 in the divided here. This the number you write inside this place here is called divided. You understand? That means the numerator is called divided. You understand? When you are using the long form division. So when the numbers here, the 5 here can goes into 2. When the number that is here can goes in this number, and we are having only one number here, the next thing we are going to do is that we put a decimal point. You understand? We put a decimal point in the divided. You understand? And the denominator here, and this place is called the quotient. So it's not quotient here, it's quotient. I made a mistake here, it's quotient. It's QUOTIENT. You understand? It's quotient. And after that you put 0 here in the divided here. Now the next thing after that you do that one is that you now see 2.0 as if you write 20 there, though it's 2.0, but let's assume that it's 20 now. Now how many 5 can you find in 20? If you count 20 now, once you can use your pen to count it and check how many 5 you can find in 20. You understand? So that will be 4. You write the 4 here on top of this 0, because we are saying 20, and the 0 is the number that end 20. You understand? So you are going to write 5 as the you know, I've corrected this here. This is a quotient. This is the correct spelling of quotient, not quotient here. So when you write it here, the next thing is that you are going to multiply. I'm coming. Let me explain this. So you are going to write 4 after the decimal point, not here. You understand? You are going to write the 4 after the decimal point, and then after you write that, the next thing is that you are going to multiply this 4 here and the number that is here, and you know we have the number that is here. A number that is here, the 4 here, you are going to multiply with 5. So and 5 times 4 here is 20. So you are now going to write that 20 under the 2 here now, and the next thing is that you are going to subtract it, draw the fraction, and if you subtract 20 minus 20, that will be 0. You understand? So that means, you understand, that means and that means 2 over 5 now is 0.4. Now come to think about this. You understand? You see the kind of every work that we do here before we find 2 divided by 5. Now imagine the one I explained, that when you have 2 over 5, you can just multiply the numerator and denominator with 2. So we are going to get like so you are going to multiply with 2. Yes, you are going to get 4 over 10. And you know, when you have 4 over 10, you can easily change it to decimal by just moving the decimal point 1 time to the left, and that will be 0.4. So this is the work that I don't want you to be doing. That's why I splitted everything like that, so that it will be easy for you to remember. And then remember that when you have 0.4 here, whenever you add 0.4, you can easily make it a decimal number, full decimal number, by writing 0.4 in mathematics. Now let me explain this even better. You understand? So that you understand what long form division is. I want you to know this thing, and I want you to pay attention to this. Now the example we used earlier on is 2 divided by 5, and this is what we get. I color it green and purple and other colors for you to be able to understand this. Now the first thing we did is that since 5 cannot goes in 2, you understand, and we have only 2 here is the numerator, sorry, in the divided here. So we put a decimal point here, in the divided I will put another decimal point in the numerator here, sorry, in the quotient, sorry, and we put 0. That's the first step. You understand? After we find out that how many of this number we can find here, if 2 can goes in, let's assume that we have don't let me make this complex. Now the first thing is that we divide 5 divided by 2. So since we did not get it, we are only able to divide 5 divided by 2. So the next thing is that we had decimal point to the numerator, to the divided here, and we put 0. And then now after that, now see 2.0 as if you write 30. Now see 2.0 as if you write 20 there. Then how many 5 can goes in 20? That's 4. You write the 4 in the quotient here. So 5 divided by 20 is 4. So I will write the 4 here, and then I will write the 4 before the decimal point. So and then we say 4 multiplied by 4. Sorry, 4 multiplied by 5. This is 5. Sorry, 4 multiplied by 5 is 20. We write 20 here, and since the answer is 0 after we subtract. The next thing is that we subtract 20 minus 20 and we get 0. I think you can understand this, and remember that I've already explained this one to you earlier on. So now let's jump to the board, and let me give you an example of how we can solve question like 3 over 7 and 4 over 9. How we can change those kind of fractions that they are not multiples of, that their denominator are not multiples, they are non factors of 10, 100, 1000, how we can change them to fractions. So how we can change them to decimal. So let's jump right in and let's meet on the board. Now we are now on the board here. So the first question that I want us to solve here is 1 over 3. So let's assume that we have 1 over, let me reduce the thickness of this, so that, let me reduce it a little bit. So we have 1 over 3 here. So that's the first fractions, because 3 is not a is non-factors of 10, you understand. So if you want to change 1 over 3 now to decimal, we are going to use I think, okay, the long form division, as I've explained to you earlier on. So the 3 will be here, you understand, and the 1 will be here. Now the first thing we did is that, how many 3 can you find in 9? If you count 1 now, how many 3 can you find in 1? There's nothing. We can't find any 3 in 1. So since that is not true, we are going to put a decimal point here and a decimal point here, you understand. Let decimal point be straight, and after that we are going to put 0 here. Now the next thing is that, how many 3 can you see in 10? We are not going to see 1.0 as if you are seeing 10 now. Now how many 3 can you see in 10? That's probably 3. So write it on the 0 here. Now 3 times 3, that is 9. If I'm too fast, you can go back to you can pause the video and watch how I get it here. So we underline it here, and if you do 10 minus 9, you understand. So you are going to borrow 1 from this one. This will be 0 and this will be 10, you understand. So 10 and count 10 now and take away 9, that will be 1, you understand. So you put your 1 here. Now after you did this, that there's a number, that there's no 0 here, you are going to you can write another 0, and you can even increase the bar like this. So let me take the eraser and clean this thing up. So I think you'll be able to get it now as we are doing, and you will see why it is very complex and why it is very simple, and why we need to why I need to make another video on this and explain this better. But since this is not what you are going to learn in the second week, I think, yeah, in the second week of this of your being in Premier 4. So on the first time of being in Premier 4, in the fourth week or the second week. So let's continue with this. Now when you see the 0 here, when you write the 0 here, you can just take the 0 from your room. Yes, from inside you can bring the 0 and write it here. So you now bring the 0 down. Next time is that, how many 3 can you find in 10? You see we have 3 again, and 3 times 3 is also 9. Now you are going to subtract it and you are going to get 1. Now there's one thing that you need to keep in mind here. Remember that we are changing from a fraction to decimal, and we are changing fraction that have denominator that they are not multiples of 10, 100 and 1000. Now whenever you encounter a number like this, now if you continue doing this, now you can never finish it, because the answer will still be 0.3333, you understand. So that kind of number is called a repeating decimal, you understand, or they call it, there's another name for it, but I think I forget now. So it's called repeating decimal. So the word that is so 1 over 3 now will be equals to, that will be 0.3, but 3 is the only number that is repeated. 3 is the one that will be repeating here. We just have 3. Now since 3 is the only numbers that repeat, you can put bar on top of it like this. So any mathematician that see this will know that this 0.3 this 3 is repeated. It's an infinite, you understand. So it's continue repeating. So whenever you are asked to change 1 over 3 to decimal, this is the correct answer, and this is how you are going to do it. I think you'll be able to understand this by now, that you see how why I say this is complex. So the step is that we check 3 divided by 1, so we get 0 here. We now get 100, so we had 0, and we say 3 times 3 here, so we get 9, you understand. And next thing is that we say 10, which is the 10th I will put here. We say 10 minus 9 here, so and we get 1. So that's the step we took to solve this kind of problem. So let me jump to another board here, and let's do another question. So I won't give you an answer as I said, but okay, let me allow you to do this one. Let's do 3 over 7. convert 3/7 to decimal. So pause the video now and make sure you do it. So welcome back. So the first thing we are going to do is that you draw the shape like this, the long form shape like this. So the denominator will be here. Okay, let me try to rub this off. So let's write it here. So if you look at the first thing that I explained to you here, you see denominator 3 is the one that is here. So that means the same thing we are going to do this one. Those 7 will be here. Okay, let me move to the board now. So 7 will be here and 3 will be here. So the first thing is that how many 7 can you find in 3? That's 0. That's nothing. You put decimal points here. You can even write 0 here self. So how many 7 can you find in 3? That's 0. Now you are going to write another 0 here. So you are not to write another 0 here. Remember what I explained to you here. Remember the one that is here. So we don't write 0 here normally, but we have put the 0 here. So don't worry about that. No, here now we are going to write 0. So how many 7 can you see in 30 now? Now if you say 7 times, we want to check how many 7 can we find in 30. Let's say 7 times 4. Okay, let's say 7 times 5. So 7 times 5 is 35, right? So 7 times 5 is 35. Let's reduce it. 7 times 7 now. 7 times 4. So that would be 28, because if you take 7 out of 35, you are going to get 28. So let's use 28. So that means we can get 4. You understand? Okay, don't let me even clean this thing. So that's 28. We now write 28 here. We write 4 here because we can find 7. We can find 7 fours. You understand? We can, if you count 28, 39, we are going to find 4 7. You understand? We are going to find 4 7s in 30, and that's 4. So the number that is here is the one that you can write down. You understand? So you write 4 here. It's not 28. You understand? It's not 28. So we now say 4 times 7, and since we do 4 times 7, 7 times 4 here, that is 28. Just write 28 here and subtract it. So if you subtract 28, if you subtract 30 minus 28, so you are going to borrow 1 from this one. This will remain 2, and this will be 10. So the answer here will be 2, and we have a 0 here. That means the answer is 2. You understand? So you are going to write 2 here. Since we still have number here, just write another 0 here. Let me quickly clean all this off. Let me clean it off so that we'll be able to do our exercise confidently. I think you can be watching, or you can be seeing that long form division that I did there before I finished rubbing off the board. You are the one that's supposed to rub off the board, but you know. So you are the one that's supposed to rub off the board. Don't worry. So okay, I think I'm done with the cleaning now. Now we are going to write another 0 here, and I've already write that one. So we take that 0 down, and this will be 20. Now how many 7 can you find 20 now? Let's say we know that 7 times 4 is 28. Remember that is 28. So 7 times 3 now is what? If you take 7 out of 28 now, that will be 21. You might know it, but I just want to do this so that you'll be able to understand. So and we are going to 20. That means we are going to use 7 times 2. So and 7 times 2, if you remember quite well, that is 14. So how many 7 can you find 20 now? We have 2. So you can even increase this one. We have 2. 2 times 7 now is 14. You understand? So after that, we now subtract it. So if you subtract this one now, this will be 6. I think yes, this will be 6. So we write another 0, and you and you bring it down. So this will be 60. Now there's one thing I want you to remember there. This is how we are going to continue doing it until we end up not getting any answer, or it results in trailing number or repeating decimal. You understand? I will put bar on the top like this, like the one we did here. You understand? Like the one we did here that I put bar on it. I don't think if I can see this clearly, but like the one I did here now. Remember? Oh, I did not put in the color. So like the one we did here. You understand? That we that I put a bar on top of it. So let me select the black color again, and let's move to the board we are using. Now here now, this this 3/7 is not a trailing, it's not a trailing number. You do not have to put anything here. But whenever you are asked to reduce a fraction like this, a fraction that have 7, 3 or any other thing as the denominator, or any other number that are not multiples of 7, or that are not multiples of 10, 100 or 1000 as the denominator, you will have to write your answer in a decimal place. You understand? So decimal place means that how many numbers you can find, decimal place means that how many numbers you can find, how many numbers you can find after the decimal point. In this one now, okay, let me use another board and quickly compare with this one to explain further. So now when you add the word decimal point, or decimal place, you understand, decimal place means that how many numbers can you find after the decimal point. Here now we have 2 decimal place. In 1.21 we have 2 decimal place. In 1.428 we have 3 decimal place. In 8.9851 now we have 4 decimal place. So you will be asked, when you are given a question like this, you supposed to be, if only if the person don't really understand it quite well, the person will tell you to give your answer in the person will tell you to give your answer in a specific decimal place. Now if you are asked now to give our answer in 2 decimal place, now we just say 3/7. You understand? 3/7 equals to 0.42. So that's 2 decimal place. We won't worry about the remainder. You understand? Because we know these numbers is a long one. If you continue to do it now, the video will get too long, but you can practice on yourself. So let's quickly do another one. Let me use the board let me use this board. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, maybe I should use another board. Okay, let me use this one. Okay, now let's say we want to do 4/9. Okay, no, let me do this one now. Or you can do 4/9 yourself. You understand? You can do 4/9 yourself and try it out. Though I won't be able to write the answer now. So, but there is one more thing that I want to explain. Now let's say we have 14/35. Let's say we have 14/35. Now you have to change 14/35 to decimal, and 35 is among the number that you can multiply with another with any other numbers that will give you 10, 100 or 1000. You understand? So what we are going to do now is to use the long form division. You write 35 here and you write 14 here. Now how many 35 can you find in 14? That is nothing. That's 0. You can put 0 here, you may not put it, so you write 0 here. How many 35 can you send in 140? Now let's start with this one. Let's say 35. You want to check how many 35 can you send in 140. Now let's say 35 times 8. Let me write it like this. Let's say 35 times 8. You understand? I love to do all the workings here so that I'll be able to understand. Now 8 times 5 is 40, right? Now and then 8 times 5 is 40, so we keep 4, and 8 times 3 is 18. So 18 plus 4, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So we have 22 there. So that means this number is too long. We are going to reduce this one. The 8 is here. Now let's say 35 times let's say 35 times let's say 45 times 5 now. So we have 5 times 5, which is 35. Write 5 and keep 3. So 3 times 5 is 15, 16, 17, 18. We have 18. So we are going to 140. That means we are going to reduce this number to, let's reduce it by 1. Maybe you can get the correct answer there. Okay, let's say 35 times 4. So 5 times 4 is 20. Write 2, write 0, keep 2. So 3 times 4 is 12, 14. So that's 14. So we get it. Now if you are now asked that how many 35 can you say in 140, so that is 4. You understand? So we write 4 here. So 4 times 35, you know that's 140. To 140, and after we write that one down, we subtract it. So and 140 minus 140, So 140 minus 140, so without even using calculator, you know that is 0, right? So you know that is 0, so you are going to write 0 here. And remember this now, there's no need for us to write 0 here because we have already get 0, you understand? So since we have get 0 now, we now know that 14 over 35 is 0.4, so 0.4. so that's that about that, and that's the exercise that I said I want to give you. So you now know how to do 2 letters, 2 digits number over 2 digits number. And you remember that I said I will do a video on this, but don't worry, when the video is available you'll be able to get it. So let me show you one thing that you can be doing. Let me show you one exercise too that you can quickly do by yourself. So the question is 15 over 24. So the question is 15 over 24. Now you can just write like this. So this will be 24 will be here, you understand, and the 15 will be here. Now how many 15 for 24 can I find? That's 0. Can put 0, put decimal point here, so write 0. How many 24 can I say in 50? Now let's do 24 times, let me just use 24 times 5 for now, so and check if we are going to get. So 5 times 4 is 20, write 0, keep 2. 2 times 5 is 10 plus 1, that's 12. So you can even add one more to this. Let me quickly add one more. So let's say times 6 now. Remember that in the one we did, okay, I think that one has gone. So 6 times 4 now, that is 6 times 4, that's 24, right? 6 times 4 is 24, so you write 4 here, you keep 2. So 6 times 6, 2 times 6, that's 12, 13, 14, so you write, you get 144. Remember that 24 times 6 is equals to 144. That's 2 times 6 times 4 times 6 is 24. I think I'm right with that one. Now let me clean this one up. And the 2 that is here, and this 24 here. Now let's use 7 now. How many 7 can I say in 20? 7 times 4 8. 7 times 4 is 28. You write 8 and you keep 2. You understand? 2 times 7 is 14, 15, 16. So we have 168. So definitely we are going to use this one. So we are going to use 6. So let me write 6 here. Understand? So that is, don't be bothered with that. I'm sorry. So let's try 6 here. So that's 6. So that's it. Now 6 times 24, that's 144. Now if you subtract this now, let me write 150 here. So if you subtract this now, so you know you are going to borrow 1 from this one. This will be 4 and this will be 10. So the answer will be 6. So let me quickly rub this up. So we now have 6 as the answer. So we have 6 as the answer. Okay, I think it's enough for now. So we now write 6 here. Now how many 20? You now bring 0 down. You understand? You write 0 there. You write 0. How many 24 can you say is 2060 now? Let's say 24 times 2. 2 times 4 is 8, right? And 2 times 2 is 4. So let's say 24 times 3. 3 times 4 is 12, write 2, keep 1, and 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1, 7. That means it's 40. That means definitely is 2. You understand? So 2 times 24 is 48. Now if you subtract this one now, we are going to get let's say, let me rub this off. So let me quickly rub this off. Now if you now have 60 minus 48, so you cancel this one, this will remain 5, right? And this will be 10. Now how many 8 can you find in sorry, 8 minus 10, we are doing minus here, remember. I not even write subtraction there, sorry. So this will be 2 and this will be 1, so we have 12 here. So that's how we are going to continue. Now write another 0 and bring that 0 down here. You understand? So that will be 120. I think maybe we should continue to do that. Okay, how many 24 can you now find the 120? We keep on doing that, we keep on doing that. So luckily our answer here, let me just round it off. So I want to round it off in 2 decimal place as I did for the first one we did. You understand? So now without wasting your time, 15 over 24 now. So 15 over 24 now will be 0.62 in two decimal place. You understand? That's not the right answer in 3 decimal place. We have to continue doing it. So that's just 2 decimal place. So okay. So that's the end of the video. Make sure you go back to all this and quickly cross check it. You can rewind the video if you want to go back to it. And so goodbye, see you in another video. And now I see that this thing is a little bit more complex since part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. I will quickly do another video here and I explain to you everything we have been covered since the morning, and everything we have covered since the beginning of changing fraction to decimal, so that you can actually understand everything before we move to changing decimal to fraction. So I'm going to explain that one to you too. So goodbye for now, and see you soon. And make sure you do your exercise and review the course section. Okay, goodbye.